Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Milk Podcast. Today, I'm very happy to be accompanied by Zach Egbert. He is automotive photographer.
Sir.
He's got really awesome work. I'm going to post some pictures of his work up here around. Absolutely amazing. I get some of my inspiration from him. He's got great skills on editing and composition, and he was willing to, kind enough to, be on this humble little podcast. So thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you for having me here. I'm excited to sit down and have this conversation and talk photography and everything.
Of course,
Yeah,
man. Me too. I don't get this opportunity very often to talk about photography with other photographers. So I'm also kind of pretty excited. So, I guess one of the first questions is kind of how did it start for you? How did you get into this world?
Yeah, so I originally started. I never thought about being a creative photographer or anything at all, and then my sister actually started working for Honda as a social media manager down in southern Utah, and I always grew up. My dad always liked cars, so I was always kind of around cars.
Yeah.
But then my sister had a job focusing around cars and also taking photos and videos of them. I was like, I kind of want to be able to do that too. And at the time, I was attending Utah Tech University, so I was like, for my art elective, I was like, I'll just try photography because I want to be able to do photography, and she gets to play around with fun new cars, so I want to do that too. So took that in college, and at the time I had a big lifted Jeep Wrangler, like a 2011 Wrangler on 3-inch lift, 37-inch tires.
Sweet.
And that was how I started taking photos. I would just take that to like Moab, all these other places. So actually, if you go on my Instagram and scroll to the very bottom, it's all Jeep photos.
And they're all your Jeep,
It's all just my Jeep.
Okay.
And so I had that for the longest time and just took photos of that for probably 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Just my
okay,
Jeep.
So it was just like your Jeep account.
Literally just Jeep, and I grew like a huge Jeep thing, and it got big enough like companies were sending me products for the Jeep and all this stuff. And then I moved to Idaho. I'm from Idaho, but moved back there. And I got a job where I had to drive like 100 miles a day. I was driving so much, my Jeep got 10 miles per gallon. So I sold that because I just couldn't justify it. But then I was sitting around like, I don't have anything to take photos of anymore because my Jeep's gone. That's what my whole page was about. So that's when I just, it was April 2021. That's when I messaged the first person on Instagram being like, I like your car. Can I take photos of it?
That's awesome, man.
And I shot a GT Mustang. That was my first photo shoot ever.
I think I've seen it. It's the red one, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the red GT Mustang. That was my first one ever. And I got to do a photo shoot with him again a year ago, and it was kind of cool just to like shoot the same car. That was like the one that started all of it. Yeah.
See kind of the progress, the difference. Was there a big difference? You
Yeah, I look back at my first photos and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, I just tried to put myself back in the shoes of Zach in 2021, being like, I thought that looked good. Right? Like, bro, all right.
It's like that with almost. Hopefully everybody, I think, because if you look back at your old photos and you're like, that was better, or that's really good, it's kind of concerning.
Yeah, well, I think one of the best practices I've done that's helped me grow a lot is I go back and take my old RAWs and I re-edit them.
Oh, okay.
So if you go back, even some of my shoots that I've posted recently are from like 2 years ago. And I've just taken the photos and I've re-edited them in a style. So like I just posted this Senna set. That was like a super blue, moody photos of the Senna. I took those photos in like 2022. But I just re-edited the photos because like I want to see how my style has changed from then. And that's how they turned out. So I think it's super important. Take the photos that you thought like look good years ago, re-edit them because you're going to look at them through a whole different lens.
I've never done that. I need to do that.
Yeah, I recommend it a lot because it just helps you grow just to see how your vision has changed.
I've thought about doing it, but then I get lazy, so that's my fault. But
it's hard. It's hard to want to do it, but I think it's worth it. It's a good practice.
I was a little confused because I was looking at one of your videos and I saw the Zenna's the blue one, right? The one that like opens, it's cool, and it doesn't have a top, right, or something like that.
No, so the I'm trying to think which blue one doesn't have top. The Senna, it's the McLaren with the gold wing doors, huge wing on the back. But the photos were really blue because it was a very like rainy, moody day, and the photos I originally edited them very warm and made it kind of look summery but rainy. And I was like, no, I want this to be cold, moody, because I'm trying to get more of my style. It stays very cinematic. Is what I try to shoot for. Like my philosophy with photos is I want it to look like a frame out of a movie, just in a photo. And so I was like, no, I want this to look like cyberpunk, moody, grungy, and edit it that way.
Oh, I love that. That's
so.
I struggle with that sometimes because I try to find clients always so that I can keep on doing this, right?
Yeah.
And my concern is, well, if I make it look too cinematic, then it looks kind of unrealistic, or it doesn't look like what they saw, in real life. And sometimes I edit the photos, but then I'm like, oh, like I don't always feel like that happy with it, because if, like you're saying, like if you go back and edit it the way you want to, I don't know. Yeah, that's usually when I'm happiest with it, and sometimes that's when I see that they're also happiest with it sometimes, but I don't know.
Yeah, which I would say, don't edit it to how your client wants it, edit it to how you want it, and then clients will hire you because they like that style.
Okay.
So a lot of people hire me because they're like, I like Zach's look that he puts on those, so that's why they hire me, is because like you just find the style that you work with. And I would say the way to best find your style too is try to copy other people's photos to that you like. And just because then you start being like, I like this, but I like it a little different this way. I like this one, but I like it a little different this way. So you take the inspiration from people, and then it's just those fine tweaks that eventually ease you into your style. So it's like I would emulate a lot of, like, I'm not sure if you know Tanner Seymour. Like I would look at his photos a ton and be like, I like that. Like I want to take that and tweak it a little bit because I really liked his style, but it's like, but there's something that I would do just slightly different, and then that's how I just like ease into it. Even today, I was just looking at this Instagram account that I just absolutely love, that I'm like, I want to know how he takes photos like this, and so I just saved a ton of inspiration from his page because I was like, I want to do these, and then like put my twist on it. But like, that's take awesome. His stuff, because even then I still do to this day. I'll find someone that I'm like, I don't know how you take photos like that,
bro.
And then try to take the same photos. So even on the shoot that we're going to be doing later, is I'm going to try and like imitate a lot of his stuff and then figure out how to do it that way.
And what's something that distinguishes him from your style? Like what's something that you kind of see in one of his photos that you're going to try to do, say, later today?
Yeah, so he does such an interesting perspective on stuff. He shoots stuff from an angle that you would never be like it makes you turn your head. You're like, you're like, that looks insanely cool.
Yeah.
I don't know like how you thought to take the photo that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like he like does a lot of things like at like a 60-degree angle, like turned really weird, but the way he just cuts it and frames it, I'm like, wow, like it just makes your brain think a little bit more on the photo, and you're like, that's actually really cool. And so it's because it's the same photo, it's the same thing, it's just a picture of a taillight, but just the way that he orients it in a way, but he frames it in such a minimalist way and uses the backgrounds in this way, so it like, it's a minimalism mixed with weird orientation, but it just looks so cool. And I just love that style.
I love that, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's always those like little things that people add but make such a big difference, man.
It is. Yeah, well, even with that, like his minimalist style really stands out to me because I always try to fill my photos with so much things. Like the car's the focus, but the background makes most of the photo. Where he's like, here's an aspect of the car, no background. And it just pops it off, and it just makes me go like, it challenges everything in my head for how I do my photos, but I'm like, but I really like that. And it looks cool, so I want to figure out how he does it.
I notice I have some of the same, similar ideologies as you do in terms of the background aspect, because I also was like thinking, I remember you told me this when we did a photo shoot a while back. You said car photography is landscape photography with a car in the middle.
Yep, it is.
And I just kind of like was so tunnel focused on that for a while, but then I did a photo shoot the other day at the cargo location, and I edited it, I did everything, and I was like, man, this doesn't feel right. And it's because, I just put the car in the middle and put, and then I put it on a page to see, and I quoted it like, I did this photo shoot at kind of a cool location, but it feels like something's missing. And people low-key like destroyed me, but that's a good thing. That's what I wanted.
It's good.
They're like, yeah, bro, like you're not respecting the rule of thirds. You just like stuck it straight in the middle. There's no like really like interesting colorways or lighting. And I was like, damn, like they're right. Like all these, like deep down, I knew that.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense, like everything. It's really cool when people challenge your kind of ideas. That way you
you need it. You need people to tell you where your photos are bad, good, everything like. You need that feedback because it's all just gonna look the same to you. And even now, like I'll edit sets and be like, man, I don't know. So I'll like text the photos to like my brother. There's people who aren't photographers.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, like, what do you think of this? Is this even good? Is it even bad? Because I took a set of a CTSV Blackwing, and I was just, they were shot in conditions I really didn't like. The guy was like, you can pick up the car at 1 p.m. And then have it for a couple hours. So harsh sunlight, middle of the day, no clouds, just all just rough, white car. Like
man.
everything that like is just not good photo wise was that way, and I just took the photos and I was just like, I just hate how these look.
Man.
So I was sending them to people like, what do I need to change here? What is like, and again I went to people that aren't photographers, so I was just like, to your eye, what do you think is bad about
And they
this?
give you some of the best feedback sometime.
Yep. Yeah, and my brother gave me the best feedback. He's like the photos are fine, they don't look like Zach photos, and I was like, yeah. Dang it. It's like, how do I get there? How do I get to that spot?
And what do you remember what he said?
That was the feedback he gave. He just said that doesn't look like a Zach Egbert photo.
Okay.
And I was like, but they hired me to take Zach Egbert photos. Like, how do I change this to look like one? And just getting that little tweak feedback. And I got to a point where I was happy with it. Never fully loved it because I couldn't control them.
That's always such a big concern with to me, even when I charge, and that's part of the reason why, like, I'm still afraid to charge more. I still feel like I charge, not that much, but I'm always like in the back of my head, what if I can't deliver? And sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm not happy with the results. Sometimes the lighting's bad. Sometimes the location is bad. Sometimes the photo just looks kind of grainy for some reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's such a scary thought to me that somebody gives you a car and they're expecting it to be in Zach's style or Moises' style, but then you give it to them and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
And
which is in that case, like a lot of times I've just offered to redo the photo shoot because I find clients will respect it so much more if you just reach out to them and say like, hey, I don't feel comfortable giving you these. I wasn't on my A game that day. I want to do it again.
That's really
and a lot of people are like cool because they'll actually appreciate the vulnerability with that, because I've had to do that several times, just being like, hey, this just didn't work out how I wanted it to. Like, can we just go take them again?
That's interesting, because I was going to ask you about your locations, and you're very, what's the word? Like cautious, but also like prepared. I think prepared is the word. Like, you always go into such deep preparation with your locations.
Yeah.
You always go to the location beforehand. You always look at it around and do everything to the best of your ability so that it's the way you need it to be when the time arrives. But I was gonna ask you, like, what do you do when for some reason it doesn't work out? Somebody parks where you wanted to park, or
happens a lot.
The location isn't available, or they kick you out or something. Has that happened to you?
I haven't been kicked out very often, surprisingly.
Oh, nice.
But I usually just go to places where I know I can go in a lot of ways. There's been one or two times where I'm like, yeah, security shows up, it's fine, but I'm actually surprised. I don't think I've ever been kicked out of. I've lied. I've actually used a government parking lot once that I didn't realize was a federal parking lot.
Oh, okay.
And so they came in, they're like, hey, by the way, this is a Department of Defense parking lot, you can't. Oh. And I was like, oh, and like people in SUVs rolled up and stuff. So I was like, well, alright. And I felt so bad because I had this guy wake up for a sunrise photo shoot with his Audi R8 super early, like 6 a.m. and showed up there, and then we got kicked out of the parking lot. But it actually was more of a blessing than anything, because we just started driving around. I was like, I need to find a spot. So I didn't have any backups planned. And we found this road that the sunrise was just hitting just perfect. It was popping just right. So I was like, yep, this was great. So it worked out.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, for the photo locations though, it's nothing, I would say, glamorous anyway. I literally spend hours scrolling Google Maps. I just go on Google Maps, Google Street View, constantly just zooming in, looking around. I can always keep in mind, like, where's the sun going to be, either on this side of the map or on this side of the map, and I literally spend hours just pinch zoom, street view, pinch zoom, street view, and if I can't have a street view, then I'll flag it, and then I just drive there.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, this will work. So on my off days, I'll just throw my dog in the backseat of my car, and we just go for a drive, find new locations. And that's literally just what I have to do, especially like around here. I was shooting a Tesla Model 3 in downtown Salt Lake yesterday, and when I was driving to that spot, I just like saw a spot I thought would look cool, so I just park, map it up, flag it on Google Maps, and then just keep driving. And such is how you just find the spots.
Flag
you literally just find it, yeah.
Okay.
My Google Maps is just labels all over it, just full of labels.
I do something similar, but the way you're doing it sounds so much more convenient. I'm like driving and then I'm trying to like find the coordinates while I'm driving and then I'm trying to put it into notes.
Yeah. If you just hold a pin on the map and just bookmark it, then I just title it the name. Like I'll just like underpass overlook, South Salt Lake City, something like that, and then I have all those locations pretty much from Idaho all the way down to Nephi. I just have locations all the way down that I've just found.
Awesome,
doing it that way.
Yeah.
You know? So if someone ever is like, hey, do you have a location for here? I'm just like, yep, here's 3-4 locations. There you go.
Oh, man.
And that's what we have to do because, like I said, landscape, the background of the photo is 90% of it.
That's true.
Because I've always said you can put a Lamborghini in front of a Walmart and it's going to be a meh photo.
Yeah.
But you can put a GR Corolla in front of an insane mountainscape and it's going to be an insane photo. So it's all just the background. If the background complements, you have to pay attention to see if the background's going to complement the car.
That's true.
Because they can really clash if you take like a lime green theme to like a blue background or like it's just going to, you have to make sure the colors match.
I don't think about that too often. I need to think about the colors a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I just trust that I'm gonna like fix the colors in post, but.
Or even the shoot that we did at the parking garage, I knew there was a ton of pink.
Yeah.
Shipping container yards,
that's brilliant.
and we had a pink GTR.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I put two like cool. We have a ton of pink boxes here, like and the black works with everything,
Okay.
and so does white or gray. But yeah, it's like the 2 and 2. Like yeah, they have a lot of pink boxes here. We have a pink Ruby Star GTR. Piece them together.
That was a really nice shoot.
That was a cool shoot. I did that.
Anyways, for today's sponsor, just kidding. For today's video, we got Chips Ahoy.
Eventually, hopefully, sponsor.
Hopefully.
Chips Ahoy, crispy, crunchy Chips Ahoy. None of the soft ones.
Exactly. Well, I just got the classic. I was hoping this was the crispy you were talking about.
Or no, just the hard ones.
Yes.
Yeah. The chewy ones just don't do it. I just don't get it.
Huh.
But not my thing. It's better to make something crunchy soft with milk versus it just always being soft.
I don't know if I always agree with that. I really like soft cookies sometimes. I don't remember.
Fresh out the oven.
Oh yeah,
Soft
that's
yep.
true. That's true. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Are these your
Thank you for these.
what other types of cookies do you like, man?
Oh man, I was gonna almost ask for those. I think they're Milanos, like the oval shaped ones that have like the filling in the middle.
Oh.
They're in like a little more fancy packaging at Walmart.
I don't think I know those.
This will be a little more accepted to dip in milk versus Milano because I feel like some people look at me weird when I dip those. Because they're more of like a fancy cookie. But
you gotta embrace it, man.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Milanos, solid Girl Scout cookies.
Of course.
Classic. Yeah.
Of course, always.
Yeah.
Wow, shoot, what are those called? The ones that are kind of like big, fluffy, and they have like pink on the top.
Oh, like the sugar cookie ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those always hit. I don't care if they just taste weird, but they taste so good.
I also love just Oreos, man.
Oh yeah, no, it can't beat a classic.
Yeah.
But
Mint
I've seen a couple
Oreos?
people do Oreos on this show, so I'm like, nah, Chips Ahoy this time.
When I was little, I hated mint Oreos, but I like it.
Yeah, mint's good. I love mint chocolate stuff. My dad was actually allergic to mint growing up, so
What?
we couldn't have like mint things in the
I didn't know
house.
you could be allergic to mint.
Yeah, no, it was weird. He had like such like a weird visceral reaction to it. Like it would like make him feel sick when he just smelled it, and so like we couldn't have mint things around. So it was like whenever he wasn't around, we were like, get some mint stuff, get some gum, do whatever. Like we just couldn't have it around him. It was weird.
It really weirds me out. This like different like reactions that people have to different things.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can have all these different kinds of allergies,
Mm-hmm.
and to me it seems like we don't really understand it that well.
Not a ton. Like,
Because we can't fix it, and it's really weird to me.
yeah, and he's the only person I've ever met that's had that.
Yeah, I've never
Such
even
a
heard
visceral
about
reaction to mint. Yeah, it's so weird. I never got it, but yeah, when like he wouldn't go to church or something, we'd be like, yeah, we can have gum at church now for this week. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so weird. I couldn't imagine getting excited over mint gum.
Right? Yeah, because he had an insane sense to it. Like if I was in like the backseat of our Suburban 3 rows down and I just like opened up something, he'd be like, "What the?" Like who just opened that?
I can sense it. He had a spidey sense,
He
man.
could. It was wild.
Damn.
But yeah, so now I appreciate the Girl Scout cookies when I can't have Thin Mints.
Good. Let me see. Oh yeah. This is like. I remember. Well, tell me if I'm wrong. you said something along the lines of you'd rather have a really nice sports car that has a bunch of miles on it than not a lot of miles on it.
Yeah.
So, how important to you is like traveling?
Oh, traveling too. I travel all the time, everywhere. I've been to I live in Idaho, but come to Utah all the time. I've been here 3 times this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This week,
this
3
week,
times?
Yeah, 3 times, yeah.
Holy
I was here yesterday, today, and then at the start of the week, yeah.
Holy shit,
Just
dude.
all for photo shoots.
How long is the drive between here and Idaho?
2.5 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's about 5 hours round trip.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
Damn.
when you get paid enough for the shoot, it's worth it, you know, when you calculate it like hourly wise. But no, traveling's huge. I think traveling is one of the most important things you can do for yourself, just to grow as a person, because it exposes you to new people, new ideas, new cultures. I feel like, especially just in like today's climate with any like ignorance or stuff like that, the only way to combat that is exposure. Because I feel like when like racism or like just ignorance to anything, it's just because no one's interacted with people that are different. And so traveling puts you in those things. It lets you just see the world, appreciate it more, but it makes you appreciate what you have here a lot more too.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought that it can make you appreciate what you have more. And I think you're absolutely right when that's the way to combat like ignorance, just like meeting people that are different than you. I think some people might be afraid that meeting these people will make them like that, which is why they might be afraid to like go and meet those people. But it doesn't have to be the
people
case.
Aren't bad in places like my favorite place I've ever been is Cambodia, and it's because the people were just so amazing.
Yep.
And they were just so appreciative of everything that they had. My hotel that I stayed at came with like, he's a tuk-tuk driver, so it's like the motorbikes with the baskets on the back and they take you around town and that.
Okay, yeah, I think it's
but this guy, he worked, he's the only person in his family works, he sent all of his money home to his sister and his grandma. He's taught himself 8 languages, so he knows how to talk to the people that stay at the hotel.
Yeah.
I think he makes $3 a day.
Holy
One of the happiest people I've ever met. And because he just appreciates everything, he has such a hard work ethic, and it's just, he was absolutely amazing. And we tried to, like, I was there with my sister, and we tried to, like, bring him along with, like, a lot of our adventures. Like, we had him try pizza for the first time.
Oh, shoot.
He's never had pizza before. And so, like, he took us to a pizza place, And so we took him to the pizza place that he was dropping us off at. We're like, come eat with us. Like, come sit with us and enjoy this. And, like, he never had pizza, never had brownies before.
Did he like it?
It was great. The pizza there was a little weird compared to American pizza. Like, there's a lot of different, like, mixes and stuff, so it's like, it wasn't any good pepperoni or cheese, but...
Was it cheesy though? Was it like pretty?
Yeah, it was cheesy, but it was a weird like. It had a lot of just like weird meat vegetable mixes that I've never heard of before. That were like, I guess we'll try this, and it worked. It was good, but definitely no like solid pepperoni or anything. But we gave the whole staff of the hotel brownies for the first time. None of them ever had brownies before. Ooh. But if you think over there's such like a tariff on them, and like there's like a tax, like an import tax on them. Yeah. So a box of brownies is $5, which is. To us, like $5. That's a lot for brownies, but $5 is $5. Yeah. But to them, if you make $3 a day, that's like us spending $400 on brownies. Yeah. $400, which just doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So nobody ever had them, so we just bought like an egg brownies. We just made them in mugs in our microwave and stuff. And the staff, no joke, was literally dancing. They were eating it, dancing, clapping. They were like, "This is amazing!" So like, and so just the little things that we take, just like going to Walmart buying brownies, is like made their week. Yeah. And so just. But you'd never have experiences like that if you don't go do that. And it makes you just sit there and being like, man, I was just on my way, like, or just today I was just scrolling through looking at, like, Leica cameras, being like, if I work it hard, like, I can probably buy this, like, $3,000 camera. And sitting there where they can't even afford a $5 box of brownies, and they just puts you in that perspective of being like, do I really have it that bad?
That's true.
Like, things are good.
Oh man, I was gonna say something, but I kind of lost my train of thought. But I think it's interesting because sometimes I get really kind of existential, and I'm like, what's the purpose of things? And I'm just like kind of like moody inside, and I think to myself like, what's wrong with me? Like, I should be so happy. I have so many luxuries, right?
No, but it's your normal. Like we have our luxuries, but it's all perspective, and it's all struggle is relative too. Yeah. Like. I know some people where the hardest part of their year is that they weren't able to put $50,000 away in their savings. They only could put $30,000 away. Mm-hmm. And I know people that they don't know how they're going to pay their next payment. And I got, like, everything's relative to how, like, not to negate anybody's experiences, but, like, if that's your normal, then something that seems mundane to us could be someone's really hard day to other people.
Yeah,
right?
No, 100%.
Or it could be just be like, that's what you're worried about? Like, come on.
Do you think that gratitude is the best way to, like,
it's
combat
huge.
that?
Yeah, gratitude. But again, I think just exposure, because that's what gives you gratitude, is just seeing how other people live. But I think looking back, like thinking back and realizing how much you've grown as a person is important too. Because I sit here and I always just try to remember, like, Zach 4 years ago would be so jealous of Zach today. Because awesome. It's like, I've always just sat there just being like, man, I just want to drive like a McLaren once. Yeah. I just want to do this. And like, now my normal weekend is someone just giving me their McLaren, Lamborghini, flying me out somewhere, just being like, yeah, take the supercars, do whatever. And like, am I any happier now than I was then? I would say nominally, like, no. But but life just, like, grows at such, like, a pace that, like, it eases into that normal that you have to think back and be like, yeah, I'd be stoked to be doing what I'm doing right now. If I could see where I was at right now, I'd be like, hell yeah.
It's a good feeling. Yeah. I love that. And I have I've experienced similar things to that, where I'm like, if I saw myself now, I would be somewhat proud of me. Yeah. But at the same time, like you said, am I happier right now than I was a year ago? Probably about the same. Yeah. Probably, sometimes maybe even a little less. And it's like, damn. But it's all about perspective, man.
100%.
I saw on one of your videos that you said that your tattoos are from coordinates, right?
Yeah. So this whole sleeve, each one's a different country I've been to.
Bro, what are these countries, man?
We're running through. Well, this one's hometown. We have a famous water tower in my town, so that's just Idaho.
Hell yeah.
But we have Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand, Spain, England, Canada, Mexico.
Damn, fuck yeah, Mexico. Mexico!
I already said Ecuador.
And Egypt, right? Is that Egypt?
No, so that one's Cambodia. Okay, that's Mexico. I need to add Iceland to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a country, it's a little country called Guernsey. That no one's ever heard of. It's a tiny little thing off the coast of France that's right in between France and the UK. That I did like a little thing out in there. And that's a cool island. If no one's ever heard of Guernsey, it's cool to look up.
Oh, what's it look like there? Is it like rocky, green, cold?
It looks like English Highland, is very just kind of flat rolling green hills, but it's the only English colony. So it's a colony, so it's like Puerto Rico is to America kind of thing. Yeah. Because like England runs it, but it's its own country, has its own currency, like everything. Yeah. But it's the only English colony that got occupied by the Germans in World War II. Okay. And so the entire island is just bunkers. It's bunkers and watchtowers. Oh, that's so sick. But people have just taken them and made them their houses. What? And all the businesses are bunkers. Like, you literally just go into bunkers for everything there. Wait, and what the... This one dude owns, like, this massive watchtower on the south side, and that's his house.
That sounds like such a cool touristic spot.
It's sick. And you can just walk around, and there's still... The whole island is just covered in trenches and cells and stuff, and you can just walk around in the trenches and stuff.
Wait, what is it called again?
Guernsey.
Guernsey?
Yeah.
Bro, that's gonna go on my list.
It's cool. It's a cool little spot. And then there's an island next to it called Jersey, where cars aren't allowed. It's all horse-drawn carriage still. Oh. Like, no... meeting with people.
We cut back, by the way.
Camera overheated.
Yeah.
Difficulties, but... Yeah. But with Iceland, I was wanting to travel out there. I was going to go anyway. Yep. And so I just went on Instagram and just looked up Iceland, like any photo tagged in Iceland. Yeah, and so I just started scrolling through because I want to see, like, other creatives that are, like, shooting there and seeing if they want to collaborate. Like, finding cool cars, if I can find cool cars to shoot there. Iceland doesn't have any. Don't even try to find them. They don't have cool cars. Because it's all just cold and icy and winter 9 months of the year. So I found one dude with a BMW i8, and, like, that was it. But I just reached out. I saw this company just announced that they expanded to Iceland, and they, like, rented Teslas all over Europe, and they just expanded there. So I was like, it doesn't hurt to ask for something. So I was like, hey, if you guys want, like, I can take some photos and some video of your Tesla in Iceland and, like, vlog my experience driving it around if you guys want to, like, collaborate. And they were like, sick, let's do it. So they gave me the Tesla, like, for free for the whole trip, covered all the charging on it too, and just, like, covered half the trip. And they were like, yeah, let's collaborate.
Damn.
So I just like filmed all my adventures around, and I just had to record it.
Did you like ask them to pay you, or did they just come out of it and like, oh, we'll just cover you?
The payment was the like covering half the trip and the
Yeah.
rental and stuff, because it probably saved me like a good $900 to $1,000 off my trip.
Damn.
So it was a good trade off. So I didn't have to buy a rental car and pay for gas, and because Iceland's really a lot spread out, a lot more than people realize it is. It's everything's really far away, like 3-4 hour drive between almost everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Cool.
So,
But it's because their speed limits are 40 miles an hour on their highway.
why?
Everywhere.
Oh.
I wish I knew.
It should
Literally-
be faster, right? I mean,
Literally
considering there's
highways
nothing-
that when there's nothing for like 80 miles, 40 miles an hour. The whole way.
It should be like 120.
Yeah. No, it's 55 kilometers. So like 40 miles an hour. The whole time.
Iceland, you need to get your shit together.
For real, let us go fast. And they have speed cameras everywhere too. So if you're going like 56, they'll like take a photo of your car and send you a ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
My sister's not allowed to go back there. She has an unpaid speeding ticket, allegedly.
Allegedly. Damn, makes me think of what's the name, Jeroma? Have you heard of him? Oh, he's just like some guy that just defends everybody, regardless of how awful they are, and I don't know. He just kind of went.
It's like
viral.
devil's advocate for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
I like that.
And somebody will be like, "Oh, I killed somebody," and he'll be like, "Allegedly."
Allegedly. Yep. Yeah. Allegedly, my sister can't go back to Iceland.
So, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So, Whiplash is gonna be coming out in the theaters again for a little bit, and that got me thinking about kind of one of the quotes, and it went something along the lines of, "Would you rather die around like 25 or something, that pretty young, but be remembered for a long time, have your work be remembered for a long time, or would you rather live, maybe like till 100 or something, but not be remembered?" And I kind of wanted to like add a little twist to it, and kind of ask you like, would you rather live a long, like till like 100 and have your work not be that memorable, but you have like a good connection with the people in your life, you're maybe like meaningful to them, or would you rather not be meaningful to the people in your life, kind of mess up your relationships with them, but your work is like outstanding and it influences
Like you're
people for
revered.
a lot of generations?
Yeah. I would probably say the first. I think, because I think that's what would give you most fulfillment.
Yeah.
I feel like every successful person I know, when they get to that level of success, says that it wasn't worth trading their relationships for it.
I see.
Like almost every single person, like the only reason why they have their money now is because they gave up like relationship, and they said, "I wish I wouldn't have done that," because they realized it didn't matter without the relationship. And I'm already kind of at that point where it's like, the reason why I want to be successful is to have the freedom to do what I want with the people I want.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the dream with it. And if I can uplift as many people with me as I can as I go through it, then that's perfect. But my main goal is to just, like, I want to be, my dream setup is to do it how the last owner of MySpace did it. He sold the Tom for MySpace. He's everybody's first friend. If you ever, if you made a MySpace account back in the early 2000s, it was an automatic thing, but he just was your friend. But he owned MySpace, and he sold it, and he pocketed $550 million or something like that. And he now just travels the world, lives in a new country every month with his girlfriend, and is a landscape photographer. So literally all he does. So he just has all this time in the world, literally doesn't work anymore, just takes photos around in a new country all the time. That sounds amazing.
Damn.
That'd be my dream setup, but he has that constant just growth in relationship with the person that's closest to him. He's challenging himself creatively, seeing new places, having that exposure. But then if you could do that with your whole family, there's no point in being remembered in the future because you're not gonna care, you're gonna be dead.
That's a good point.
So it's do what you can with the family that you have here and now, and the
care
friends
now,
and
right?
the relationships. Yeah, because it's your life. And even I grew up religious, but I'm not religious anymore now.
Yeah.
And I'd say even going through that transition was really important for me, because a lot of people ask me after I've left my religion was what's the point of what's the point of everything?
Yeah.
And people look at me weird when I say I have a much better outlook on life after I've lost like my religious view.
Yeah.
Because if I have the perspective that this is it, like this is literally all we have, because it might be, then why would I not want to enjoy it as much as possible? Like if this is literally all the time that I get in this little corner of the universe that we got, why would I not want to see every corner of it? Why would I not want to meet the people? Why would I not do it? Because like if this is literally it, then why would you not?
Well,
you know,
to play devil's advocate a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I am kind of religious, not like hell, but a little bit. But I guess the thing is, some people want, like, you're a good example. Like, you want some, like, good things. You want to chill, travel, all these things. There's people that want bad things, right? There's people that want to hurt people. There's people that want greed.
Yep.
And having that kind of, like, strict kind of line of, like, between good or bad, you know, somewhat defined in the scriptures, it helps, right?
Yeah. No, people need, like, that moral, like, backing with it. But even with, like, your religious, I think... If you believe like God created this world for us, why would you not want to see all of it?
That's true.
He made this for you.
I
like this is here for you to enjoy and experience, and the people too, and like they're all his. Like why would you not? It's the same answer both ways. It's like why would you either not want to enjoy God's creation, or why would you not want to see the only place that you're ever going to experience in your existence? Exactly. They're both the same thing. Go out and see the world. Damn. Because it's here for you. Either way you cut it.
Yeah, man, you're making me really want to go and travel, man. It's scary though. Good. I'm scared to go out and travel, especially because I'm going to have to do it on my own.
But I think that's a lot of the media stuff. I've done most of my traveling alone. And, like, a lot of it alone. Because it's such a priority for me.
Yeah.
But I know I'm in a unique position where I'm, like, able to.
Yeah.
Where, like, a lot of people aren't there yet. But also I get, like, a lot of opportunity that justifies me going there, you know? But I've never once, like, gone to places and felt scared. But that's mostly... Granted, I'm a 6'2", big, white dude that's not really worried about much people coming at me in a lot of ways or, like, taking advantage of me in those in a physical sense.
Yeah.
But as long as you just, like, do your research and are smart about it and, like, don't go to some slum in the middle of London that you know has problems or listen to the locals in that kind of way, like it's important to, like, do research beforehand, but there's ways to do it really safely and not feel scared. Because one of my favorite things to do when I go to places is get lost. I love getting lost. Like, I don't look at my maps. I just walk around. And I just, like... But, again, like, I do it in a place where it's, like, I've done the back research that it's safe. Yeah. But you find the coolest things when you're just, like, walking a back road in Spain. And you just, like, stumble upon, like, the coolest little cafe. Or just, like, you're just, like, sick. Like, I would have never found this on Google Maps, but me just wandering this alley... Yeah. Like, I found some cool stuff in downtown London just wandering around.
Oh, what kind of stuff?
And I found this really old, like, this boat from, like, the 1400s. Oh, shit. Just, like, just on the side of the road, just sitting in the water. Like, straight up pirate ship level stuff, yeah.
It was just chilling
just
there?
Chilling there.
Like, in a
just in the water, just sitting there. Just on the side of the road. And I'm like, all right. This is cool. And it was, like, a real, like, legitimately from, like, the 1500s.
There's just some pirate out there, dude.
Yeah.
Just some guy
chilling.
with his little like, bird and this little patch just walking around.
Or even like, this building that was like the Queen's mother's house from like the 1300s, like what was left of it, like there's the remains of that right next to there. So like I'm a history nerd, so I was just being like, this is cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, you are so odd to me because I'm such a fucking pussy about that kind of thing. And I'm just like, I'll try that. I'll try what you were saying about like doing research beforehand, and I do kind of, in retrospect, or I don't know if that's the right word, but just like analyzing myself, I wonder why I'm so afraid, considering I've never really had a traumatic event.
Yeah.
But
just the unknown.
Yeah, like...
Because you're going to places like it's a culture you don't know. You don't know how the culture's customs are.
I'm afraid somebody's just going to go up to me and shank me or shoot me, you know? Sure. And I'm not... It's not even about, like, somebody being bigger than me.
That's what's shown off on X and stuff is, like, all these people getting shot in Brazil or some of that, like... Because negativity is so loud, you know?
Yeah. I mean, everything's that.
Because if you just travel someplace and nothing... of note happens, then no one's going to post about it. But obviously if someone gets shot, they'll be like, did you see this guy that got shot here? Like right now I'm planning a trip to Morocco, which like Africa, Sahara, all this like completely different culture thing, but I'm not scared about going there. Now it's like, it's important to be smart, like lock up your bag.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pickpockets, especially if you go to like Greece or something.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of that, but it's just being smart and taking the steps just to ensure. Read a lot of reviews.
Read a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, travel tips. Important.
Of course. This is in case I go brain dead, because I do that sometimes. I'm still getting in the groove of talking to people. I'm naturally a little more on the antisocial
Same actually.
aspect. Nice.
I'm very introverted.
Hey, I respect you. Doing your YouTube videos and stuff too. By the way, his link to his YouTube channel is gonna be in the description. If you want to check it out, I totally recommend it. He does a lot of stuff on his car, the X3, right?
So I sold that.
Oh,
I sold
okay.
the X3. I have a 1988 5 Series now that I've been rebuilding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
that, but I sold the X3 for an electric car. I know, but it's worth it for how much I drive.
Oh yeah.
It is worth it.
I believe it. And yeah, did you ever get that windshield replaced?
On the X3?
Yeah.
No, and the guy that bought it still hasn't. But it's a $2,000 windshield.
Yeah, but didn't it come with your like?
It had a warranty on it thing,
Yeah.
but I sold it before.
Yeah.
I told the dealership like before I trade this in I can get it changed, and they told me no.
Oh really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Screw them.
Yeah,
I guess.
but if you want to see cool X3 builds, I have a lot of videos on that.
Yeah, he does.
And it was actually pretty cool. Like I was part of a lot of X3 pages,
Mm.
and when I announced that like I sold it and like put up like my review of it and all this stuff, so many people commented on those posts and me like, your videos were so helpful when I bought mine. I was like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, I just saw the one where you were like talking about the expenses, and I thought it was pretty impressive that the only like thing that broke was like a $15 fix or something.
$15
right?
little gasket. I put 150,000 miles on the car.
That is insane.
Just high performance B58 motor tuned to like 450 horsepower. Could shoot 2-foot flames. Not one problem.
Damn.
That was the most reliable car I've ever had.
Bro, they should pay you for the good ass review.
That's what I'm saying. No, it's an amazing car if you just take care of it and just do the maintenance. And BMW has a thing that you just pay $200 and they give you free services and oil changes for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, just take it in, just pay that $200. Like, yeah.
Perfect.
Take care of your things. Even my 5 Series has 250,000 miles on it.
Wait,
Runs
what?
and drives just fine.
Really, 250,000?
250,000 miles.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
That's
Runs
awesome.
perfectly fine.
Guess...
Bought it for $1,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Nice. It's all about that maintenance then, huh?
Yeah, no, just take care of it. Yeah, the person drove the crap out of the car before I bought it, and I got a really good deal on it because some dude bought it without asking his wife first.
Oh.
And he has a ton of other projects, and he wanted to buy parts for the other projects. So she's like, "Nah, you got to sell this one before you can put money to the other one." So I got a real good deal on that car.
Married wife. I
Yep.
imagine.
Yeah. And so yeah, I got to keep that thing for I got it for $1,000. And the full build, like, it looks really awesome right now. I'm gonna be done with it this week.
Bro, I'm so excited.
And I'm under $3,000 total into the build.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Only $3,000? Fuck yeah.
Total. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check out those videos. I haven't seen those yet, but perfect, man.
Yeah, I haven't made an update in a while because it's been just waiting for parts for so long. But.
Cool. So you kind of told us a little bit of how you started doing your photography. How do you feel now? Like where you're at, and where do you want to go in the future?
I'm really happy, like, business-wise. At least, like, the photo business where it is, like, this has been my best year for growth.
Yeah.
As far as it. Actually, specifically, like, this month. This is the first month that I've made more doing photo than I have from my day job.
Awesome.
So it's, like,
That's
that's kind of a nice,
sick.
like,
That
that's a
is
nice,
really
like, cusp
cool.
to make where it's, like, you double your income, but it's, like, now I can, like, kind of see the tunnel where it's, like, I could actually do better than my safe day job.
Mm-hmm.
I could almost do better financially with this.
And I don't know how you do you want to tell them what you do for your photo work?
Yeah, I work in the government nuclear energy lab, which is totally not at all in this space. But I did just apply to be their photographer, actually.
Oh, shoot.
So
okay.
that would be a cool job.
That would be really
if
sick.
I could. Like, and it pays actually pretty decent too. Like for their photo spot.
Oh,
so
shit.
I would like to do that if I could. Then I could just do photo then, and then just do photo after work. And
that. Like your day job already pays, I imagine, pretty good.
Yeah.
So
it makes me comfortable.
The fact that the photography is, getting to that point where it covers that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, which I'm taking all that money that I'm making extra from the photo business, and I'm paying off debt that young Zach accrued over time, just, you know, dumb, just probably traveling a lot of these places. And I'm just trying to make it to where, like, my monthly expenses are so little to where I can comfortably transition to full-time if I want to a lot easier. Okay. Because, like, right now, one of my contracts that I have, photo-wise, brings in about, like, $2,000 a month. Yeah. But if I can pay everything off, then my expenses are, like, less than $1,500 a month. I see. That's like for everything. Yeah. So then that one contract pays all my bills, and then anything extra is just extra. And then that's how I could, like, more easily transition. So building a comfortable savings and paying off debt to position myself to be able to go full-time photo if I want to.
That's a really good plan, and I think you're really thinking it through, and I do hope that the next time I see you, or hopefully in the soon future, you'll be there, man.
Hope so.
I want to do that too. Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, man. So we're almost at like an hour. So, if somebody is watching this and say they kind of want to follow in your footsteps a little bit, they like what you do, they like they want to do car photography, or they just want to be a photographer. They want to travel kind of like you do a lot of similar stuff that you're achieving. What's some advice that you would give some of the viewers?
Talk to people. Talk to people and ask for what you want. Yeah. Because I would say probably good 2/3, probably closer to 3/4 of the opportunities I've had have been from me asking for it. Because a lot of times, like, people don't know you. Yeah. Nobody knows you. Yeah. And unless you, like, message and put yourself in front of them, they're never going to know you. Especially if it's in, like, more of a saturated market with just things, then you have to stand out in some way. And the way to stand out a lot of times is literally just put yourself in the front and, like, just go there. So I started photo by just cold DMing people. And I grew a really fast clientele right at the start because I would DM probably 20, 30, 40 people a day on Instagram being like, I like your car. Can I shoot it? Like your car. And just, like, being okay with the 30 no's or the 30 left on reds and whatever. But it's just that one person that says, like, yeah. And then you post that one photo and someone's like, oh, yeah, you shot that guy's Mustang really well. Yeah, sure. Come shoot this. And, like, just that constant incremental, just asking for what you want. Even, like, my latest YouTube video, that's kind of what I stressed a lot, was the $2,000 a month contract I have right now can be directly tied to me talking to somebody for 2 minutes 3 years ago. Like, I can draw, like, a direct line from how that conversation is translated to me making this much money now, and also how I've gone on multiple rallies around the country, all stuff from that 2-minute conversation. And it's because I just positioned myself, I talked to him, and then he was looking for somebody to fill this role, and I asked if I could fill it. He didn't even ask me to. I just messaged him and was like, I want to do that. Can I do it?
Do you think there's some obstacles though to, like, doing that? Say, like, fear or other obstacles that you've come across?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's scary. It's scary to put yourself out there, especially in person. Like, all my photo friends, and I put on a car show every month, and that was yesterday. Yeah. And this guy was just, like, so nervous to talk to this photographer that I know is so nervous to ask if he could, like, open the door of a car to, like, take photos of the inside. And I was like, talk to him. Ask him. Like, just go, like. Or, like, my friend owns a detail shop. He's like, man, I really want to, like, detail that car. That's a really cool one. I was like, talk to the guy. He doesn't know that you exist. The detail guy, it's scary. It's weird. You go talk to somebody, but I guarantee you no one else that does details there has talked to him yet. But it's also, you have to be careful with detail stuff because, like, hey, your car's really dirty. Can I clean your car?
Of course.
Balance that. But, yeah, you have to get over the fear. You have to get over not being confident in yourself a lot because even at this point, like, a lot of times I don't feel confident asking for what I want stuff because I'm always like, can I deliver the stuff that I want to give them? Like, but actually even be that good? Like, it feels, I have to be like, again, adjusting my perspective and, like, I know I do okay, I do good work. So I should be comfortable asking for it. And so it's just, but as you do it more, you'll get that, like, confirmation by, like, okay, this person said yes, so, like, they must have seen something, and this person then said yes, so it gets easier and easier. And, yeah, just putting yourself out there, it's scary, but it's worth it. And, again, when we talked about, like, regrets with, like, business and stuff and how people traded their relationships, a lot of people, especially on, like, their deathbed, one of their biggest regrets is that they didn't try harder at things, and they didn't put themselves out more, and they were so nervous what other people think. So it's really important to be like, just realize how seldomly people think about you, and how you're literally a fleeting thought to everybody, that nobody's thinking about you.
That's like both the most comforting and uncomforting.
Yeah,
thought.
like nobody's thinking about you. Even though like how like famous you are.
Yeah.
Nobody's thinking about you.
That's true.
Like think of like the biggest celebrity and try to think when was the last time you thought about them.
Yeah.
Probably not for a really long time.
That's true. Yeah, I haven't thought about Justin Bieber in a while.
Exactly. Yeah, and who still thinks about him now because like he doesn't do much.
Exactly.
So it's like nobody's thinking about you.
Mm.
So just put yourself, ask for what you want, because 9 times out of 10 people will say yes, surprisingly.
Mm.
Like most of the time, but like what I stressed, especially in my last video, was you have to get your work to a place where they're going to say yes, because like if you don't refine your skills enough to where like you have good enough work where people want to say yes, because like if you never improve yourself but then still ask for opportunities, no one's going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Because like why would someone want like someone that literally just started yesterday, or if their photos look like they just started yesterday, versus someone that's been doing it for a year plus, the opportunity to shoot their McLaren, to take the hour out of their day to do that, like.
And I think another really important thing is that even if you're starting out, even if you have done this for a long time, I personally believe that a big part of it is if you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to be better? Like, even if you just started, but if you're trying to be better, in a way, you might be a better candidate than the person that's been doing it for 5 years but isn't trying anything new.
Got stagnant.
So, and I need to, I say that too because I'm trying to apply that to myself, and I struggle with that. But
so that's why it's important to, like I said, go back to your old photos, and re-edit them, because it's like you can see how you've improved. Or you can see maybe like you actually got worse at something, or maybe like several, or like it's important to compare, but it's important to be self-critical. Like obviously don't tear yourself down, but be real about it, because like don't sugarcoat it to yourself. To be like, man, I really sucked with that. Like that wasn't good. I even like looking back at my like first YouTube videos, I'm like, that was pretty garbage. I don't know why anybody subscribed to that. And then just being like, but then you look at the new ones and be like, okay, yeah, like. Made the lighting a little bit better, got the audio a little bit more down, or even like with my new camera gear, like the Osmo Pocket that's filming this, like one of the biggest complaints on my videos was how shaky my hands are, because I have really shaky hands.
Yeah.
And so my camera was just like, it just had a constant shake to it, so I got something with a built-in gimbal to like take away the shake. So it's just like the little things like that, because it's like, but you have to hear the people's like criticism and not internalize it, but act on it, you know.
And I will say that there is a big difference, you know. Of course, like from the first videos that I've seen to like the latest ones, I realized that verbally, your thoughts were more clear. So
yeah, work out your thoughts, work out your speech cadence, because I've worked on how I talk on videos, so I know how to edit it better, because I like to just flow into the next sentence really fast, and then I was like, oh, this sounds really bad, just cutting right there, because it sounds like I just like abruptly cut my like topic off. And it just made it really weird, so I always try to add like a pause between my sentences so I can like chop the videos up a little bit better. But also just like most professional speakers speak at 92 beats a minute. It's a really weird, interesting thing, but like every single one like almost finds like a cadence at like 92 beats a minute. That's what people just like to listen to.
Is 92 beats a minute the frequency, like how fast you speak, or is it the loudness?
Yeah, just how many words you're saying like per minute is like 92 words per minute.
Okay.
Like almost every professional speaker speaks at that pace.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind, because I feel like I speak too fast out of my anxiety.
Yeah, you just want to get the idea out there, and it feels weird being in front of a camera and just be like, all right, let's get this idea, like working on my X3 right now, we're doing this stuff, and like just finding that pace, like you're just talking to somebody.
Yeah. Like
we're just talking to them.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, like it's just a conversation that they're like listening in on or even being a part of, and so like you just talk like normal, but just have a little more energy. You have to raise your energy up a little bit for photos or for videos.
Yes, for photos too. When you're doing photo shoots for people.
Yep,
I do that. Well, Zach, thank you so much for being on today's episode. I haven't posted in a minute, but. Thank you guys so much for watching, to my friends, and yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
It's good being here.
Much love.
See you guys.